For today's video, we're going to be making a Vietnamese spring roll. The Vietnamese term for it is bò bia. I do want to preface this video by saying that this dish will take a long time, more than the usual 20-30 minutes. It might take you an hour, hour and a half. If you have helpers, you could eliminate that time by half or 1/3. But since I'm doing this all by myself, I could see spending at least an hour, maybe two max, preparing this meal. And most of it is just cutting, chopping, and cooking or frying. You're gonna need one package of Chinese sausage, you're gonna need some dried shrimp, next is a jicama, or in Vietnamese it's called củ sang. Then you have some lettuce, and finally some eggs. I'm gonna prepare the Chinese sausage first. I'm gonna cut it out of the package, then boil it for maybe 15-20 minutes. Normally I can only eat one of these, but since it takes so long to prepare the whole meal, I'm just gonna make a lot of it and end up sharing the rest of it with my mom, sister-in-law, and my dad. Alright, here I have a boiling pot of water. You want to add the 4 lengths of sausage into here and let it cook for maybe 15-20 minutes. And if you happen to be a Bruce Lee fan, these make pretty good nunchucks. The reason why I did the Chinese sausage first is because you gotta cook it. And after you cook it, it's really hot, so you gotta let it cool down. And once it's cooled down, then you can cut it. Now we're gonna work on the eggs. I'm gonna crack all 3 open. And then use a fork to scramble the eggs. We are gonna fry these eggs, and you wanna scoop just enough to make the eggs as thinly as possible when you fry them. Let's spread this all around. Yeah, that's pretty good. When you cut the lettuce, probably do about 1/2 inch, or a little bit smaller is fine too. Now we're gonna prep the jicama. The jicama is a root. It's really rough outside, but inside it's white and it's very crunchy. So this is what it looks like when you cut it up. And the outside, you can peel it pretty easy by just pulling on it from the top corner. And sometimes it breaks off like that, which kind of sucks. But sometimes you can pull it and it'll be, yeah, that's much better. So first thing you're gonna do is thinly slice these from top to bottom. Once you're done slicing them, you're gonna grab like maybe 5, 6 of these, put it on top of each other, and cut it down this way. Next we're gonna boil the dried shrimp. I'm throwing maybe 50, 60 of these pieces. Then you're gonna let it boil for maybe 20 to 30 minutes. These take a little bit longer just because they're dried and you want them to be as soft as possible. Once the eggs have cooled down, you'll grab maybe 3 or 4 slices of these and cut them about the same width as the lettuce. The Chinese sausage has also cooled down, so we're gonna cut those as thinly as possible. You want to go at it from an angle. After chopping up the jicama, we're gonna stir fry them. I'm gonna put some oil in the pan and some onions. Onions are optional. Once the onions are somewhat cooked, we're gonna drop in the chopped jicama. These are almost ready. I'll probably leave it on the stove for another couple minutes, 3 to 4 minutes. But they're pretty soft, flimsy. The final thing I'm gonna make is the sauce. The sauce is, you're just gonna need some peanut butter, preferably the creamy kind. And then some hoisin sauce. I believe in Vietnamese called Deen. And yes, I'm gonna use the same pan that I used to fry the egg and the jicama. I prefer not to do a lot of dishes and pots and pans, so I'm just gonna use this one for the sauce too. And pretty much, I'm gonna put equal parts peanut butter and equal parts hoisin sauce. And depending on how thick you want it, you can just leave it the way it is. But I like mine a little bit creamy, so I'm gonna add just a little bit of water. Here's our sauce. Optional ingredients you could put into the sauce is sriracha, You can never have too much sriracha. Oops. I'm also gonna add some crushed peanuts. These are not the kinds you buy at the store. I roasted these at home with tender love and care. Now that everything's been prepped and cooked, we're ready to start the eating process. You're gonna start off with the rice paper and a bowl of water. You don't want to dip the rice paper in for too long. It'll become soggy, and when you try to wrap it up, it'll break apart. At the same time, you don't want to do it too quick because it'll be a little bit dry and it's going to be hard to chew on. So I would say probably a good 10-15 seconds of rotating it in the water. And that looks good. Now that everything's prepped, we're ready to eat. We have our rice paper right here, chopped lettuce, shrimp, Chinese sausage, eggs, and jicama. And there's 3 different ways to eat this. I'm going to show you the first standard way, which is pretty much how most people do it. This is the way my mom prefers to eat. Just put a little bit of everything on top. And the nice thing about this is if you don't like the jicama, you don't have to put that in. Just put extra eggs or lettuce. You can pretty much cater it any way you like it. So it's good size. I put it on the center. I start from this side of the rice paper, flip it over. I'm gonna pull the right side of the rice paper over, then the left side, and then from this end, just start rolling it until all the rice paper is stuck. So that's one way of making it. The thing about balbia is you have to be focused on the food. Like you have to look at the food, you have to choose which one you want to put in it, you gotta roll it up. All that takes your attention. But my dad, he likes to watch football on the weekends, so he does not like the fact that he has to look at his food and prep it because an important play could be happening on the TV. He'll just grab a bowl and stick some Chinese sausage in there, cup of eggs, some jicamas. Well, not that much jicama. He's not a big fan of jicama. It's just a hair bit, just for looks. And then same thing with lettuce. He prefers not to eat too much veggies. He's a man's man. And probably not any shrimp. And then he'll just throw some sauce on it. The third way to do it is to do double rice paper. That means you can put more stuff in. You don't waste as much time rolling, and you can spend more time eating. Now that I have 2 different rice paper on there, I can make the roll twice the size, but only have to roll it once. That means I can spend more time eating and less time rolling. This is probably 2 times, maybe 2.5 times bigger than the previous roll. But that's the way I like to do it. I'm gonna eat the way my dad does it first. I just realized that babia is very similar to Chipotle. You can either eat it wrapped up or you can have it in a bowl, which is the way my dad likes it. My mom doesn't like it when my dad eats it from the bowl. She knows that he'll just pick whatever he likes, which is usually the most unhealthy things. So when my mom sees my dad grabbing a bowl, my mom will volunteer and say, hey, I will roll that for you. Just go and watch your football and then it'll be ready within 5-10 minutes. And what she does is she'll sneak in a little bit extra lettuce, a little bit extra jicama. She wants to make sure my dad gets all his nutrients. Next up is the standard way of rolling it, which you just put 1 rice paper. Babia is one of my favorite spring rolls to make. I take that back. Babia is one of my favorite spring rolls to eat. It's a hassle to make. It's gonna take at least an hour for you to prep everything, cut it, cook it. You gotta do everything individually. It's super simple, and when you eat it, it's really good. Babia has some good sources of protein such as the egg, the Chinese sausage, and the dry shrimp. It also has some fiber and vitamins in the green lettuce and jicama. There is some simple carbs in the rice paper, but I would say it's a much better option than eating a whole bowl of rice. Alright, this is the final roll. It's a big one, double rice paper. I remember when we were young, my mom would spoil us by pretty much prepping the whole babia dish for us and then rolling like 4 or 5 of them for all of us to eat. I guess during that time we were too small and we didn't know how to roll it, so she's afraid we might make a mess. So she would go out of her way to roll it and have everything ready for us, and we just sit down and eat. It's probably gonna take another 2 bites to finish this. And let's talk about the price. I spent maybe 20 bucks on everything, but I only use a portion of that 20 bucks. So let's say Chinese sausage costs about 5 bucks for that whole package, but I only ate 4 links. So 4 links out of 10, which is about 2 bucks. Eggs cost about $2 for a carton, but I only use 3 eggs, so that's about 50 cents. The jicama with the, it was being sold for like 70 cents per pound, and the one I got was about close to 2 pounds, so I only use half of that, so I ended up being only about 70 cents of what I actually use. Head of lettuce is $1, but I only took like half of the lettuce, so that's another 50 cents. And the dry shrimp, it's actually for a whole bag of like 100 piece, 3.5 ounce, that costs about 6 bucks, but I only use 50 piece, so 3 bucks that I actually used. And rice paper is like $1 for 35 sheets of rice paper, and only like 3, so that's probably like 10 cents. So if you add all that together, I would say we're roughly around 7 to 8 bucks, and And I still have tons of leftovers. That could probably feed about 3 people, maybe 4 if you have like kids. But yeah, I still have this much lettuce. Probably about 40 pieces of shrimp. The eggs are kind of low, so I probably would have to, like, you know, if I had more people, cook maybe 3, maybe 6 more eggs. But Chinese sausage, we have this much. And also this I set aside. And then there's plenty of jicama too. So that $7 could easily feed 3 people, maybe 4 if you got some light eaters. It's a pretty good deal. Pretty good deal for a full meal. Usually for dinner. My mom usually reserves this for weekends because it takes so much time to do it, and she's more likely to have one of her kids around to give her a hand. So in my previous video, my mukbang video, one of my cousins said that this is not a mukbang video, and probably what she's used to watching is, you know, ones where it's like where the YouTuber sits down with like a huge table of, you know, tons of food on top of the table, and they eat everything on it. And the one I posted last week was just like, you know, some sardines and one piece of bread, some onions. It's pretty much like, you know, for some people that probably be just an appetizer, but that got me full. So, you know, I guess according to her standard, it's not a mukbang video, but I guess based on her standards, this is just like a mukbang light video or a diet version of mukbang. And the whole reason why I started doing these mukbang videos is because I was inspired by this YouTuber called Deen. He's a Korean who was raised in the US, but he misses his roots, so he decided to move to South Korea. So check him out, Deen. That'll be it for me. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna be spending the next couple minutes cleaning up. And until next time, you have a good day.